JavaScript Basics. JavaScript is a programming language that adds interactivity to your website. This happens in games and the behavior of responses when buttons are pressed or with data entry on forms, with dynamic styling, with animation, etc. This article helps you get started with JavaScript and further your understanding of what is possible. So the information is in developers.mozilla.org. There is where you can get the link right now. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a powerful programming language that can add interactivity to a website and was invented by Brendan Meach. JavaScript is versatile and beginner friendly. With more experience, you'll be able to create games, animated 2D and 3D graphics, comprehensive database-driven apps, and much more. JavaScript itself is relatively compact yet very flexible. Developers have written a variety of tools on top of the core JavaScript language, unlocking a vast amount of functionality with minimum effort. These include browser application programming interfaces, APIs built into web browsers, providing functionality such as dynamically creating HTML and setting CSS styles, collecting and manipulating a video stream from a user's webcam, or generating 3D graphics and audio samples. Third-party APIs that allows developers to incorporate functionality insights from other content providers such as Twitter or Facebook. Third-party frameworks and libraries that you can apply to HTML to accelerate the work of building sites and applications. Outside the scope of this article, as a light introduction to JavaScript, to present the details on how the core JavaScript language is different from the tools listed above. You can learn more in MDN's JavaScript learning area, so you can have the link here, as well as in other parts of MDN. The section below introduces some aspects of the core language and offers an opportunity to play with a few browser API features too. So here we have the classical hello world example. JavaScript is one of the most popular modern web technologies. As your JavaScript skills grow, your website will enter a new dimension of power and creativity. However, getting comfortable with JavaScript is more challenging than getting comfortable with HTML and CSS. You may have to start small and progress gradually. To begin, let's examine how to add JavaScript to our page for creating a Hello World example. Hello World is the standard for introductory programming examples. Okay, here's a warning. If you haven't been following along with the rest of our course, download this example code and use it as a starting point. So you can just click here and download it. I already downloaded it to my machine. Again, you can follow this link here, developer.mozilla.org/en-getting_started_with_the web/JavaScript_basics. So once you click here in this link, it's gonna download to your folder. In my case, I went to my DC. I have a folder called programming.js, and it's here in beginners HTML. So what I'm gonna do is right click and I'm gonna open in my terminal. So here I type code space that and then press enter. What it does is it opens it in VS Code. So I am right here, I clean it up with CLS, and Yeah. 1. Go to your test site and create a new folder named scripts. So we go, this is our folder that we're working: beginners, HTML site, style, GH pages. So right now I have images. This is the folder that we downloaded. So we have is scripts. This is the folder that they want us to create. I already created it. So in order to create it, do it again. So you just type in, no, okay, I'm gonna delete it pretty much and do it again, I guess. So they say go to your test site and create a new folder named scripts. Okay, so we go to not in styles, not inside images, but you go here in beginning HTML and press this tab, new folder, and then you type in scripts, and inside scripts, within the scripts folder, create a new text document called main.js and save it. So we make sure that this kind of like a greater than sign, we press it. It has to be kind of like an inverted caret sign. So we click new file, we type in main.js. okay, here's where we're gonna type in our JavaScript code. So we have to save it. Yeah, it's already saved. Now in your index.html file, enter this code on a new line just before the closing slash body tag. So we go to our index.html, and here I already have it. I already type it. So this is the one. Open angle brackets, and then you type in a script space source, that is src equal sign, and quotation marks is gonna be the scripts slash main.js. So the scripts is the folder, and the main.js is our file. Then again open angle brackets, and then slash scripts to close it. So I already have it here. Now 3. This is doing the same job as the link element for CSS. Right now we'll only be dealing with JavaScript. It applies the JavaScript to the page, so it can have an effect on the HTML along with CSS and everything else on the page. So add this code to the main.js file. We can go to the main.js, and we can type it in, I guess. Oh yeah, we can type it in. So cons, let me see, it's gonna be my heading. So my heading, and as you can see, it's using the camel notation. So the first letter of the second word, it always starts with a capital letter. So my heading, document that query selector, document that query selector, and you can just type it in, open parentheses. So okay, h1, next line. Oh, and we can put the semicolon at the end. Okay, so my heading, that text content is assigned to, and you can put whatever you want here. Hello world, hello YouTube, man, hello YouTube world, or whatever. Look at whatever you want to put in, and we save it. And okay, we put a semicolon at the end. I don't think it's necessary to put a semicolon, but not gonna hurt, I guess. Number 5. Make sure the HTML and JavaScript files are safe. Then load HTML in your browser. You should see something like this. So what we do here is we go to the HTML, right click, and we put open with live server, and it's gonna here. Yeah, hello YouTube world. and I type YouTube wrong. Let me see you. Okay, YouTube. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. It updated right now. Okay, so yeah, that is the example. So note, the reason the instructions above place the script element near the bottom of the HTML file is that the browser reads code in the order it appears in the file. If the JavaScript loads first and it is supposed to affect the HTML that hasn't loaded yet, there could be problems. Placing JavaScript near the bottom of HTML page is one way to accommodate this dependency. To learn more about alternative approaches, see script loading strategies. Yeah, I mean, this website, this Mozilla website for JavaScript is very informative. You can read it all that you want. So what happened? The heading text changed to hello world using JavaScript. You did this by using a function called query selector. So query selector, open parentheses, close parentheses. This is a function, and you see that it's using the camel notation to grab a reference to your heading and then store it in a variable called my heading. So you're storing it here in this variable called variable called my heading. This is similar to what we did using CSS selectors. When you want to do something to an element, you need to select it first. Following that, the code set the value of the my heading variable's text content property, which represents the content of the heading to hello world. So I'm assuming you know a little bit of HTML and CSS, so that's what I wanted to start with JavaScript. But note, both of the features you use in this exercise as part of the document object model, the DOM API, which has the capability to manipulate documentations. JavaScript is very vast. It has a lot of information. You can read the document object model, and everything can be a video in itself. See, it's a lot of information. So it's just I'm trying to give you just a basic overview. The language basic crash course. To give you a better understanding of how JavaScript works, let's explain some of the core features of the language. It's worth noting that these features are common to all programming languages. If you master these fundamentals, you have a head start on coding in other languages too. So here again, this is a warning. In this article, try entering the example code lines into your JavaScript console to see what happens. For more details on JavaScript consoles, see Discover Browser Developers Tools. And here we have some concepts. We have variables. Variables are containers that store values. You start by declaring a variable with the let keyword, followed by the name you give to that variable. So we type in let my variable. A semicolon at the end of the line indicates where a statement ends. It is only required when you need to separate statements. See, there it is. It is only required when you need to separate statements on a single line. However, some people believe it's good practice to have semicolon at the end of each statement. Oh, okay. There are other rules for when you should and shouldn't use semicolons. For more details, see your guide to semicolon on JavaScript. And man, there's a lot of information here. We can spend a bunch of days. So you can name a variable nearly anything, but there are restrictions. The section about naming rules, again, you have another link for variables. If you are unsure, you can check your variable name. You have another link to see if it's valid. JavaScript is case sensitive. This means my variable is not the same as my variable. See, in this one we are using the camel notation, and in this word we are not using. If you have problems in your code, check the case. So remember, JavaScript is case sensitive. After declaring a variable, you can give it a value. So for example, my variable, you see we're using camel notation. My variable is the second word, and the first letter of that second word, it starts with capital letter. It's assigned Bob. So also you can do both these operations on the same line. So we have let my variable is assigned Bob. You retrieve the value by calling the variable name. So we type in my variable and then semicolon at the end. Okay. After assigning a value to a variable, you can change it later in the code. So we have let my variable is assigned Bob, semicolon, then we put my variable is assigned Steve. That is because you're using let, but if you have use cons, it will have throw you an error, but we're gonna see that later. Okay, note that variables may hold values that have different data types. So we have a variable, the explanation, and example. A variable, so we have the string, and you have a link here too. See, you can have all the information here if you want to start reading it. Explanation. A string, this is a sequence of text known as a string to signify that the value is a string, enclosed in single quote marks. So the example, let my variable is assigned Bob. Bob inside single marks, and at the end is a semicolon. When you have inside single quotes, it means you have a string here. So you have the number is a variable too. The explanation, this is a number. Numbers don't have quotes around them. Let my variable is assigned 10 at the end, semicolon. If you put it like this, 10 is a number, but if you put it in single quotes, you would be making it a string. So now we go for boolean. Boolean, again, a variable. What is the explanation? This is a true false value. The words true and false are special keywords that don't need quote marks. So let my variable is assigned true at the end, semicolon. And as you can see, we're not using single quotes, double quotes, anything. You just type in it true. And again, the words true and false are special keywords that don't need quote marks. So that is an exception. An array. And again, if you click in any of these links, you're gonna have all the information needed if you want to start reading it. So we can close one of these tabs. Okay, an array. This is a structure that allows you to store multiple values in a single reference. For example, let my variable is assigned open brackets 1 comma string Bob comma string Steve comma number 10 close brackets at the end, semicolon. Refer to each member of the array like this: my variable, open brackets 0 close brackets comma, my variable open brackets 1 close brackets comma, etc. Objects, this can be anything. Everything in JavaScript is an object and can be stored in a variable. Keep this in mind as you learn. Let my variable is assigned to document.query selector open parentheses the string h1 semicolon at the end, all of the above examples too. Okay, so why do you need variables? Variables are necessary to do anything interesting in programming. If values couldn't change, then you couldn't do anything dynamic like personalize a greeting message or change an image display in an image gallery. Comments. Comments are snippets of text that can be added along with code. The browser ignores text marked as comments. You can write comments in JavaScript just as you can in CSS. So we put a slash, an asterisk, and here goes the comment. Everything in between is a comment point, then an asterisk, and we end it with a slash. That would be a comment. If your comment contains no line breaks, it's an option to put it behind two slashes like this. So you put double slash, this is a comment. Operators. An operator is a mathematical symbol that produces a result based on two values or variables. In the following table, you can see some of the simplest operators along with some examples to try in JavaScript console. So we have operator, we have the explanation, the symbols, and the example. For example, addition. Add two numbers together or combine two strings. So you have the plus sign, 6 plus 9. We end it with a semicolon, and we also have strings. So you have the hello string plus the world exclamation string. We end it with a semicolon. Subtraction, multiplication, division. This is the operator, the explanation. These do what you expect them to do in basic math. So the symbols are the minus sign, the asterisk sign that represents multiplication, the slash sign that represents division. So you have the numbers 9 minus 3 semicolon, then you have 8 times 2 semicolon. This is a comment that says multiply. In JS, so JavaScript, is an asterisk. Multiplication in JavaScript is an asterisk. 9 divided by 3, and by division you use the slash operator or the slash sign. So we have the assignment, the assignment operator. As you've seen already, this assigns a value to a variable. So this is the equal sign. So in some cases, you heard me say, for example, this, I don't know, my array is assigned. So this is the assign operator, assignment operator. So let my variable assign this string Bob. Okay, so we have the strict equality. This performs a test to see if two values are equal. It returns a true/false boolean result. So you have the triple equal sign. You could the triple equal sign, or you can call it a strict equality operator. So let my variable is assigned 3 semicolon. My variable is equal to 4. See the difference? One equal sign, you assign it, because one equal sign is the assignment operator, but 3 equal sign is the strict equality. So my variable is equal to 4. There is no doubt, there is no ambiguity. Here we have the not, does not equal. Okay, so this is again, this is an operator, and this returns the logically opposite value of what it precedes. It turns a true into a false, etc. When it is used alongside the equality operator, the negation operator tests whether two values are not equal. So you see a lot in, for example, if statements, if else statements, together with or operators. For example, and this would be the example. For not, the basic expression is true, but the comparison returns false because we negate it. Okay, let my variable is assigned 3. Now here we have in parentheses my variable is equal to 3, but we have the negation operator. So with the way you read this would be pretty much not does not equal 3. My variable is not 3. Does not equal gives basically the same result with different syntax. Here we are testing, is my variable not equal to 3? This returns false because my variable is equal to 3. Let my variable is assigned 3, and then my variable is not equal to 3. Okay, there are a lot more operators to explore, but this is enough for now. See expressions and operators, so you can go to this link. Here is the link, the URL. Expressions, oh man, this is a lot, so you can check out that. Okay, note, mixing data types can lead to some strange results when performing calculations. Be careful that you are referring to your variables correctly and getting the result you expect. For example, enter the string 35 plus the string 35 into your console. Why don't you get the result you expected? Because the quote marks turns the number into strings, so you end up concatenating strings rather than adding numbers. If you enter the numbers 35 plus the number 25, you'll get the total of the two numbers.